The glove. I had no problem with the glove. I had no problem with Gary Payton.
I was like, yo, look, just let me guard him. It is what it is. Let me slow him down, and then we can get everybody in a rhythm.
If anything, you pull somebody off the bench and pull on Michael Jordan, they can just waste fouls and be physical with him. But, you come out there being soft with Michael, he's going to take advantage of you.
June 16th, 1996. The United Center was electric. Chicago wasn't just chasing another championship. They were chasing history. 72 wins, the greatest regular season ever, and one final test standing between Michael Jordan and the perfect ending to his comeback story. Just 3 years earlier, he'd walked away from the game at the height of his powers. His father, James Jordan, had been tragically murdered, a loss that shattered him to the core. For the first time in his life, Michael didn't want to play basketball, stepping away from the sport that had made him immortal. Facing him for the throne were Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp, two of the league's brightest stars, full of confidence and energy. Payton talked, Kemp soared, but Jordan had something they didn't: purpose. But what unfolded that night was something entirely different, because by the time the final buzzer sounded, Payton's words were empty, Kemp's frustration was visible, and Michael Jordan stood at center court with his fourth ring, tears streaming down his face, the number 4 raised to the sky. This wasn't just a championship. This was vengeance. 2 years away from basketball, 2 years of people questioning if he'd ever be the same. And in Game 6, against two of the league's loudest stars, Jordan didn't just answer those doubts. He embarrassed them.
7-10 seconds remaining. Oh, Payton and Jordan having some words, face to face. And Harper guides Payton away. Now Shawn Kemp calming Gary Payton down.
In 1993, Michael Jordan was on top of the world. 3 straight championships, 3 finals MVPs, Olympic gold, global fame. There was nothing left to prove, or so it seemed. But behind the success, his world was collapsing. That summer, tragedy struck when his father, James Jordan, was murdered in North Carolina. The man who had been his best friend, his biggest supporter, and the reason he first picked up a basketball was gone.
I love the game of basketball, I always will. I just feel that at this particular time in my career, I've reached the pinnacle of my career. I've achieved a lot in that short amount of time, if you want to call it short. But I just feel that I don't have anything else for myself to prove.
The loss changed everything. Jordan's joy for the game disappeared overnight. He'd been playing under an unbearable spotlight. Critics, gambling rumors, nonstop pressure. And now, without his father, basketball felt meaningless. So, in October 1993, he shocked the world by announcing his retirement. At just 30 years old, the greatest player alive walked away. But Jordan wasn't done competing. He turned to baseball, the sport his father always wanted him to play. For 18 months, he rode buses through minor league towns, chasing peace more than success. And while the media mocked him, that time away healed something inside him. Then came March 18th, 1995. 2 words changed the world. I'm back.
It came in a 2-word statement which is now just begging to have a Nike campaign built around it, quote unquote, I'm back.
Jordan returned to the Bulls wearing number 45. He was rusty, human even. The 1995 playoffs ended in disappointment against Orlando, and critics said his time had passed. But that loss did something dangerous. It reignited his obsession. He trained harder than ever, rebuilt his body, reclaimed number 23, and entered the 1995-96 season on a mission.
After the season, usually there's a time period where Michael takes some time off. The night they lost to Orlando, I said, Michael, I'm about to get out of here. Let me know when you want me to see you, because I'll see you tomorrow.
When the Bulls opened that year, they weren't just good, they were unstoppable. And by the time they reached the finals, Michael Jordan wasn't just back. He was better, hungrier, and playing for something far deeper than fame. He was playing for his father. When Michael Jordan returned for the 1995-96 season, it wasn't just about basketball, it was personal. The sting of losing to Orlando, the whispers that his time had passed, and the memory of his father's voice drove him harder than ever. This time, he came back with purpose.
Everybody realized that this guy was back in his full force as, the most dominant player in the game.
From the moment the season tipped off, the Bulls looked unstoppable. Jordan led the charge, averaging 30.4 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 4.3 assists per game, shooting nearly 50% from the field. Scottie Pippen was his perfect counterpart, versatile on both ends, averaging 19.4 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 5.9 assists. And then there was Dennis Rodman, the league's rebounding maniac, pulling down 14.9 boards a night while anchoring their defense with sheer willpower. The result was a masterpiece, a 72-10 record, the best in NBA history. The Bulls weren't just winning, they were dismantling teams. Jordan captured his 8th scoring title and 4th MVP, proving that even after 2 years away, he was still the gold standard.
What drove us this year was a lot of the players on our team never experienced this type of winning, and not as rapidly as we did. From Randy Brown to Steve Kerr to Jud Boucher, a lot of these guys have been on other teams that have never won.
And the bench delivers again.
So the motivation was even greater, not just from your starting five, not just from Scottie Pippen, myself, Dennis Rodman, the guys who have experienced it before, but from the guys who were on the bench supporting and coming in and relieving us of menace. They wanted it more than we did because they've never experienced anything like this in their lives.
Meanwhile, out west, the Seattle Supersonics were building a legacy of their own. Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp had transformed the team into a 64-win juggernaut. Payton, the glove, had just become the first guard since Michael Cooper to win Defensive Player of the Year, while Kemp dominated the paint with 19.6 points and 11.4 rebounds per game. When the playoffs came around, the Bulls were like a storm that couldn't be stopped. Their 72-win regular season wasn't just dominance, it was a warning. And in the postseason, that warning became reality.
The greatest glory lay in the team's accomplishment. A record-breaking 70 wins.
There it is. 70 has become a reality for the Chicago Bulls.
72-10 is an outstanding record, but 72-10 don't mean a thing without a ring, and that's pretty much been the focus of this team all year. We're here this year to win a championship. That's our ultimate goal.
In the first round, they swept the Miami Heat 3-0 with ease. Jordan barely broke a sweat as Chicago's defense smothered Miami's guard and big man duo of Hardaway and Mourning.
Pippen on a drive, beat Danilovic, dumps the ball.
And no amount of Miami Heat could stop them.
MJ between them all. He got every one of them. Yes!
Next came the New York Knicks, the old rivals who once pushed them to the limit, but this time there was no drama. The Bulls dismantled New York in 5 games. Jordan again leading all scorers while the team's chemistry looked untouchable.
The rejuvenated Bulls dominated and finally sent the Knicks home for the season.
Jordan just looked over at Spike Lee and waved bye-bye. The Bulls are moving on to face the Orlando Magic.
Then came redemption, the Orlando Magic, the same team that ended Jordan's comeback the year before. But this time, it wasn't even close. Chicago crushed Orlando in a 4-0 sweep, outscoring them by an average of 17 points per game. Jordan averaged 29.5 points, and every possession felt personal.
We all were disappointed last year. We came back to redeem ourselves as a unit. We saw the challenge in front of us, and we stepped in front of it, and we faced it, and we conquered. So I think that's a great accomplishment.
By the time they reached the finals, the Bulls were 11-1 in the playoffs, locked in, ruthless, and ready for history. And standing between Jordan and his 4th championship were 2 young stars who truly believed they could stop him: Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp.
and be proud of what you've done. Now go out there and be big. Let's go, Now stay still. Here we go. Ball's going up.
Game 1, it was clear who owned the moment. Michael Jordan came out sharp, scoring 28 points and setting the tone with his mid-range precision. The Sonics tried throwing multiple defenders at him, but it didn't matter. Chicago's defense suffocated Seattle, holding them to just 37% shooting. The Bulls took Game 1, 107-90, and never looked threatened.
The Bulls were determined to maintain their momentum.
You're sure shooting rocks at the beginning of the game except for Kemp.
Game 2 felt like deja vu. Gary Payton's talk didn't translate into stops, and Jordan dissected the Sonics again, dropping 29 points with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. Seattle's offense sputtered under Chicago's pressure, while Pippen and Rodman controlled the pace and boards. Another double-digit win, 92-88, gave the Bulls a commanding 2-0 lead heading to the West Coast.
Only 3 7/10 seconds to go in the fourth. The Chicago Bulls escape with the victory. The Bulls over the Sonics 92-88.
They've held court. Can you guys hold court 3 straight?
That's what it comes down to. We're going to have to go back in our building and take care of business. So backs against the walls at this point.
In Game 3, Seattle's home crowd roared to life, but it didn't change much. Jordan scored 36. Payton couldn't slow him down, and Chicago's defense shut down everyone not named Shawn Kemp. The Bulls won 108-86, taking a crushing 3-0 series lead. The championship seemed inevitable.
Don't be afraid to throw to number 23. He's all right.
Jordan, yes. Oh, yeah, Mike.
Where's Michael? Where is it? Doesn't see. Back to Stuco. 6. There's Michael.
Following 15. Oh. Off the screen by Sally.
Good again.
Michael Jordan is in another time, in another space, on another plateau.
But facing elimination, Seattle finally fought back. In Game 4, George Karl made the adjustment fans had been begging for, putting Gary Payton on Jordan full time. Payton's physical defense threw MJ slightly off rhythm, holding him to 23 points on 6 of 19 shooting. Meanwhile, Kemp dominated inside with 25 points and 11 rebounds, leading the Sonics to a 107-86 win that kept their season alive.
The Bulls had suddenly turned into mere mortals, victims of a Seattle team that had finally taken charge.
In Game 5, Seattle doubled down on the same formula. Payton hounded Jordan all game, forcing tough shots, while Kemp once again shined with 22 and 10. Jordan shot just 11 for 22, finishing with 26 points, but Chicago fell 89-78 as the Sonics' energy ignited the home crowd. But Jordan was unfazed.
Just put this down as a bad game and look forward to Friday.
Suddenly, the unbeatable Bulls had shown cracks. The Sonics' confidence was back, and the whispers began. Was Jordan finally slowing down?
We knew that Seattle was going to come in and try to steal either 1 or 2 on our home floor, and what you want to be is sharp and ready for that, and that was our greatest worry coming in.
Harris! Harris! The Chicago Bulls, it has been a long layoff.
But those whispers wouldn't last long, because when the series returned to Chicago for Game 6, Michael Jordan was done playing around. Game 6 opened with a tension you could feel through the television. Chicago's United Center was deafening, 24,000 fans ready to witness history. The Bulls led the series 3-2, one win away from immortality, but the pressure was heavy. Jordan hadn't lost 3 straight playoff games since 1990, and he wasn't about to start now. And on Chicago's very first possession, Jordan sent a message. He caught the ball near the top of the key, gave Payton a subtle jab step, and without hesitation pulled up from 3.
Dennis Rodman very quiet. Game 5 in Seattle. Michael Jordan. Oh, he knew on the release.
The shot clock winding down. There's 7 seconds on the shot clock. Michael does
nothing but net. The crowd exploded. From that moment on, Payton knew this game was going to be different from the rest. From that moment, Jordan set the tone for Chicago. The Bulls fed off his confidence immediately. Scottie Pippen attacked the rim in transition, pushing the pace every chance he got, while Dennis Rodman battled for every loose ball, tipping rebounds to teammates and diving across the floor. The energy was contagious. Every time Jordan scored, Pippen responded with a drive or a defensive stop, and Rodman followed it with a rebound that reignited the crowd.
Scottie Pippen, who's playing hurt, the bad ankles, a bad back, sore knee, has had a very difficult series. His shot put only from way out. The tip best in a discussion with Hugh Evans. Here's the three-point shot by Scottie Pippen to end his drought in that department. And watch the work off the offensive boards. First Jordan, he goes wide of the mark, and Rodman.
Jordan could see it. His teammates were locked in. This wasn't just about him carrying the load. It was the Bulls' championship chemistry in full effect. While Payton tried to rattle him with pressure and chatter, Jordan remained calm, letting the game flow through the team. Every possession had purpose. Every cut and pass executed with precision.
Tony Kukoc has come on for the first time. The Bulls obviously would prefer having Kukoc come off the bench. Jordan for Longley.
As the second quarter unfolded, Jordan shifted his attack to the interior. He stopped settling for jumpers and went straight to work inside, posting his matchup on the block, drawing contact and finishing through traffic. Every possession felt calculated. He wasn't rushing shots. He was wearing Seattle down from the inside out. The Sonics tried sending help, but that just opened up opportunities for his teammates. Scottie Pippen's defense was suffocating. He hounded passing lanes, stripped Kemp on a drive, and turned defense into transition.
Seattle had a chance to go for the victory. Scottie Pippen continues to play perfect basketball.
Pippen defending the bigger Sam Perkins will step in front for the steal to start one of the fast breaks and one of the rare ones for Chicago, as they have not had very many. But Scottie Pippen right here in the middle of the floor, nobody coming up to stop him. Michael Jordan running this lane and wide man over here, and Scottie Pippen just making the right play with the perfect bounce pass to finish off the fast break.
And then there was Dennis Rodman, a one-man wrecking crew on the glass. He grabbed everything in sight, pulling down rebound after rebound, often over 2 or 3 Sonics at a time. Each board drew a roar from the crowd, as if every rebound pushed Chicago one step closer to the win.
Several Sonics, including Gary Payton, basically giving their concession speeches. Rodman is fouled. He'll go to the line.
Seattle fought to stay close, relying heavily on Shawn Kemp's athleticism inside. Kemp threw down a few monster dunks, but even those couldn't shake the Bulls' composure. Chicago kept running its offense through Jordan, milking the clock, pounding the ball inside, and dictating every possession. By halftime, the Bulls led 45-38. Jordan had 17 points. Pippen was dominating on both ends, and Rodman already had double-digit rebounds. Chicago wasn't just outplaying Seattle, they were outworking them.
Jordan facing the double team, finding Pippen. Rodman trying to draw contact, no call, but Longley got it to Jordan. Here's Jordan.
As the second half began, Seattle tried to make a stand. Gary Payton pressured Jordan full court, while Shawn Kemp attacked the rim relentlessly. But the Bulls had weathered every storm before, and this was no different. Chicago came out composed, their poise born from experience, their execution razor sharp. Jordan, sensing the shifting energy, didn't rush. Instead, he leaned on his teammates. Scottie Pippen spearheaded the defense, jumping passing lanes and contesting shots, while Dennis Rodman continued his masterclass on the boards, pulling down offensive rebounds that completely deflated the Sonics' momentum.
Got the step, Frykowski. Jordan with the putback. 2 minutes, 10 seconds gone by. Third quarter, Jordan for Longley.
Midway through the third, Jordan turned up the aggression. He stopped settling for jumpers and went inside, using his footwork and strength to finish over his defenders.
The Bulls have a 15-point lead.
The Bulls' offense flowed through him. Every cut, every extra pass seemed to find the open man. When Seattle collapsed, Pippen and Rodman were leading the charge, keeping the lead stable. By the end of the quarter, Chicago was still firmly in control. They look untouchable, unbeatable.
2 games has certainly had an impact here tonight. Hawkins broken up. And here's Pippen leading the 3-on-2 as they spread the floor. Pippen for Rodman on the right. And it counts.
Nobody gets a body on him. Frank Frykowski loses him right on the doorstep. Dennis Rodman finishing one off. And then you get the rare 3-on-2 fast break.
In the fourth, the Sonics made their last push with Kemp eventually fouling out of the game. The crowd roared. The Bulls' championship medal showed. Jordan was pushing the pace, orchestrating possessions like a conductor. Pippen drains a 3 off a kick-out from Jordan, which was the dagger and sealed the game for Chicago.
The trophy presentation will take place on the floor here at the United Center. The Michael Jordan comeback will be completed. Here is Jordan kicking it out. Pippen.
As the final seconds ticked away in Game 6, the reality began to sink in. The Chicago Bulls were champions once again. Jordan was completely overcome by emotions. It wasn't just another ring. It was his first title since his father's death. His first since retirement. Every ounce of pain, every long night in the gym, every doubt was washed away in that single tearful moment.
87-75, and we're in the final second. The Chicago Bulls have won the 95-96 NBA championship. Make it 4 in 6 years.
The numbers told the story of a team that rediscovered greatness. Michael Jordan, named Finals MVP, finished the series averaging 27.3 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. Not his flashiest finals, but one defined by discipline and control. Scottie Pippen, the ultimate glue guy, averaged 15.7 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 5.3 assists, doing everything the Bulls needed to keep the machine running. And Dennis Rodman, the wild card who turned into the ultimate difference maker, pulled down an absurd 14.7 rebounds per game, including 2 games with 19 boards, completely demoralizing Seattle's front court. In that moment, Chicago wasn't just back on top. They were immortal.
It's very special, really, because of a lot of guys who haven't been in this situation, and to be a part of them, and just to have the opportunity to see that reaction of them being here for the first time.
The 1996 championship was more than just another ring. It was Michael Jordan's resurrection. After nearly 2 years away from the game, after losing his father, his best friend and biggest supporter, Jordan came back to prove that his greatness hadn't faded. And on that June night in Chicago, he reminded the world exactly who he was.
Winning is everybody's ambition on this team. Every player that's a part of this roster is willing to sacrifice to accomplish just one common goal, which is to win a championship.
He didn't just beat Seattle, he broke them. Every jumper over Payton, every drive past Kemp, every calculated possession was a message. The GOAT had returned. When the buzzer sounded, Jordan collapsed to the floor, clutching the game ball with tears streaming down his face. This wasn't just about victory. It was about everything he'd lost and fought to reclaim. The critics, the grief, the doubts, all silenced. That night, he didn't just win his 4th championship. He completed his comeback, reclaimed his throne, and reminded the world that Michael Jordan was still untouchable.